Hey, muy buenas noches, everyone. I hope everybody doing well, blessed, and enjoying family. And as always, muchísimas gracias to everyone for your guys' words, prayers, and for everything in general. From the Cora, se los agradezco. I appreciate everyone. And just to touch briefly on today, chemo went good, if you want to say that. Everything went smooth. Everyone was on eggshells because it's last weekend. A lot of things happened at the hospital, right? They brought people that were shot and they came in and, well, they finished them up. This is Culiacan, so nevertheless, thank you God, everything went well. Tomorrow, I will upload the pictures of the blanket, that I promised you guys I was going to share with you. I want to get to a recording because, well, even though I feel like I got hit already by a car, but not like I will feel tomorrow, believe me. But anyways, on the story, I want to sideline a little bit from my personal story, right? And go back a little bit and kind of touch on a power struggle, a big one, right? That occurred in SATF while I was in Corcoran, and how, well, basically it was one of the main reasons, well, one of the many, right? I'm why Sherman and others consider the Mesa system, right? But anyways, I want to touch on Shady from Watts and a homeboy that I had talked about before that was working for Joker, right, at the time from Eastside Victoria, which his name was Youngster as well from Eastside Victoria. And basically, when it came to Shady and this homie, right, Youngster, they were going out to their respectful counties. And again, this was still when the Llavero system was in play, right? And first and foremost, on SATF, you had Artie, right? Which you had Crow and others representing Artie on that yard. But, there was a little struggle and, Shady took over. But, the problem came by when he went out to court. You see, he started minimizing Artie and not replying the way he was supposed to, right? When it came to Feria wise or, people that were heading out to the shoe with having them take a little something, you guys know. And it was for the reason that when he was going to LA County, not to minimize no area, but when it comes to Pilis, there's a lot more movement, right? That goes on in LA County, but there's a lot of misunderstandings that happen from LA County, right? What I mean by that, a lot of Pilis play homies out of pocket, when they're sitting up there in the pot with them, or however they're in touch with them in the county, right? They start using them. For example, you know, you gotta give these people props, right? When it comes to allowing or getting in your head, right? Of course, you guys know I was one of them, right? That well, I was loyal tonto, you could say that, right? But basically, they paint it bonito and they tell him you go back to the yard and that's all you. Minimize this, minimize that, and you're gonna make more feria. which in reality is just a way for them to make feria before the camarada hits a brick wall and he's done. But the same thing was happening with youngster, just keeping it a book and without stating things out of pocket, right? When it comes to rivalry amongst down south homie and Los Angeles, it's always a big factor. Of course, it's never, brought out as so, but it's there. And especially when camaradas from IE or Orange County, it's a big factor. But anyways, Youngster would go back and, he was receiving the same instruction from Joker, right? Which was go back to the yard, get yourself, you know, a couple meseros, bloqueros, and that's all you. And you do your thing. Whoever questions it, you know, you're touching base with me, and I'll back you up to the fullest. Which from the gate it was a no-no, and these Spilis, they knew this, right? But their mind wasn't on, you know, on doing something solid for the camaradas. Their mind was before they hit a fence, I want to see how much they could make me. Because for those that were in the area at the time, you didn't step on Artie's toes. Just didn't do it. He was real hungry when it came to whatever belonged to him, right? Again, this happened in a time lapse when Crow and Speedy and others that had that Ferrari, got rolled up and taken to the hole for their reasons, right? But anyway, so it was open game if you want to say so. But Artie's in Corcoran and everybody knows he don't backstep when it comes to his territory, right? It was the contrary. He tried to overextend his reach. But a time came where a lot of shady things were happening, right? Because the homies, they ended up working some type of deal, right? Which was, do you do your thing, respond to your respectful Billy, and we just allowed each other to work, right? Because just on the up and up, everything was legit. What I mean by that, when they came to the agreement, they showed them appeals from these Billies. The problem started with Shady, right? That he had numerous appeals. Supposedly he was touching base with, at the time, Lalo, Mosca, the homie from Hazard. There was couple appeals, right? But nevertheless, they worked out this deal where it was, make your feria, have your crew out here, and we work hand in hand, that was fine and dandy, right? The problem came with Artie, uplifted his mesa again, and that was his jardín. So that's when the headache started happening, right? It got reported back to him that these vatos, they had word from so and so that was all them, and they had that deal going, and it became a problem because I'm not gonna say he wouldn't allow them to make some feria on the yard, but that was his jardín. They have to touch base with him in some aspect, right? But he got minimized, right? And that became the problem. So after a while, Artie got at the respect for Pilis. For example, on Shady's end, he was in good touch with Lalo and Mosca. And the first thing they said is, ya me pegó en la cara. It burst in my face already. I don't know what them vatos are talking about. I haven't seen a penny from them. And, his mesa, of course, was go ahead and hit him all and let him come back to the hole and answer up. Let him know such a cada till things clear up. So, they did their thing. They danced on the homies and they went back there. And of course, the homies felt trustworthy that things were going to clear up because, again, I don't know the direct line, but they had the appeal and, you know, but again, that don't mean nothing. We're working on his yard, supposedly without having no, authorization to do so, not respecting them. So they were through. They were just getting played out of pocket from the gate, right? Go back there, this is a checada, things are gonna clear up. And which it didn't work that way, right? Once they hit the hole, it's where he had the most power, right? And the homies, they had their wind almost taken from them to the point where it was well understood it was done. Their word wasn't going to trump a Billy's word, that he didn't know what they were talking about. And the same thing happened with Joker's workers, right? Youngster, he showed a lot more proof. Again, I was back there, you know, and I was, you could say, a fly on the wall. Just Artie was calling the cuetados directly on this. He wasn't even asking Indio like he usually did for guidance, right? And Joker didn't want pedos. Again, they were already out there for a few months, so feria was made. So again, camaradas, they're throwaways, right? You did what you had to do. There's thousands of that, so I just played the fifth. Which the same thing happened with them, right? With Youngster and four other homies. They ended up getting hit and they went back there, and I believe just Youngster and another camarada tried to come out and program, and they got hit. The other vato seen the writing on the wall and he just threw the towel in. Which in reality, you know, you hear a lot of people, including myself, right? That there's no excuse to go to that side, which I'm not excusing it, nor saying it's okay, right? But nevertheless, there is vatos over there that have life, that try to do everything right, and they just got used and abused. You know, after this is when Wettershirm implemented that Mesa system. That's with Pop Boy, Sleepy, and Caballo. And to Sherm, it was a win-win situation. Because, you know, you could argue with me however you want to argue with me. But the one thing you can't is that Sherm was so powerful, he had workers on every yard. So to him, he was going to have a seat regardless on every yard, right? So he was a smart individual. He knew how to play his politics, which on the next one I want to touch a little bit more on the current news, right, recently, without having to overstep my boundaries. Because again, I'm not on here to help the Federicos in no way, shape, or form, right? Contrary to what a lot of people think, but nevertheless, it's why not just for my being paralyzed from my left side to do a lot of pauses is also have to be on guard when different things, right? Because even though in no way, shape, or form, you know, my in agreements with them batos, nevertheless, you know, I'll be a hypocrite if now I say payback is by helping them other cats, right? And that brings me to my next thing. You know, a lot of people guided me to look at Turtles from Colton video, and I did. And I actually was gonna touch on him, right, on a certain thing, which it has no importance, right, no more. Cause I don't want to come on here and sound like a big old hypocrite, right? When I say I don't understand why I'm out, I don't deserve it. To now judge this individual when he has clearly have a different outlook on things, right? To try to speak against him getting out again. I hope everybody gets out. You know, everybody deserves a shot of freedom, right? And he sure is a different individual, I'll tell you that. But again, my respects, right? Thank you for guiding me, and just gracias. But anyways, everybody, this story was more so on, you know, I know I myself also touch on how it's impossible to come in and not get involved. I can't really speak on now that the state's out there because, there's a lot of roadblocks for camaradas to actually program without getting involved, right? The fact of the matter is, level fours, some year 3 yards, your name's gonna be called regardless at some time. That's just facts, right? Or the yard's gonna go up. Well, it's different now, but nevertheless, just be smart. Look at things for what they are. You know, buck up for your neighborhood, but always have the end goal that you're going to lace up, boot up, and for your loved ones, for yourself, cause there's just no future. Man, it trips me out. For example, this with Turtle. You know, myself was, you could say, 15 years in the shoe. Imagine this guy, 32, 32 back there, just to come to the realization that, do you really, you just gotta ask yourself, do you really want to sit down and follow suit from somebody that, you might get lucky, you might get someone as this individual or others that are real mellow, right? That have a better understanding of la causa per se. But then again, you might get one of them tecatos that, he's a tyrant. So just do your wiggle, put in your time for your neighborhood, but at all times keep that goal, for yourself, for your loved ones. Life has so many good memories. And it's sad, I personally tell you, when you're sitting down in a cell and you're hearing about them happening on the streets. And then next thing you know, someone comes and tells you, hey, this fool owes feria to the señor. Boot up, suit up, and pack up. Tomorrow you're up to bat. You know, enjoy life, enjoy family. So stay true to yourself and love your loved ones. Please excuse, this will be a very short one. I hope I made sense. Tomorrow I will upload them pictures. As always, my love. Buenas noches.